All right, lesson number 4. I want to talk to you about living for God in the lion's den. I want to reflect back to the first question that I asked in this series. What is your heart's desire? We saw what Daniel's was. His desire was to live for God in a pagan land, and that meant following him and making him known. And Daniel has been doing that faithfully for 80 years. By the time that we get to chapter 6 in the book of Daniel, Daniel is 80 years old. And he is a government official. He is a wise man. He is a high-ranking leader in the government. And the Bible reminds us in chapter 6 and verse 4 that he was completely faithful, completely reliable, and completely trustworthy. And this wasn't just an accolade of him as he acted in government. This was him in private as well. This was him outside of government. And so Daniel is now serving under a new king. The king's name is King Darius, and Darius has a high respect for Daniel, and also a high respect for Daniel's God. But you have some government officials who do not have a respect for Daniel, who do not have a respect for Daniel's God. And so these government officials come to King Darius with a concocted plan. And they say to Darius, make a law that anyone who prays to anyone other than you for 30 days, they shall be cast into the den of lions. That means you couldn't pray to a human. You couldn't pray to a god. The only person that you could pray to was the King Darius. And so King Darius signs the law. Now, of course, this would affect Daniel, but would this change Daniel? Would Daniel just cave in and say, I'm not going to pray, I'm not going to spend time with God? Listen to what the Bible says. In verse 10, it says, but when Daniel learned that the law had been signed, he went home and knelt down as usual in his upstairs room with his windows open toward Jerusalem. He prayed 3 times a day, just as he had always done, giving thanks to his God. This law did not change Daniel. Even when he knew that the law was still signed, he still prayed to God 3 times a day. Even when he knew the law was signed, knowing the penalty, he prayed. And of course, the 3 conspirators caught him, and they went to Darius and they reminded him of the law that was signed. And Darius had no choice but to arrest the man that he respected and to throw him into the lion's den. Let's look at what Darius had said. Before he threw Daniel in the lion's den, he told Daniel that the God that you serve will faithfully rescue you. So Daniel was cast into the lion's den, and the king is up all night worried about him. He didn't eat, he didn't sleep, he even said no to his entertainment. And the next morning, he runs down to the lion's den and he yells, Daniel, has the God that you served faithfully rescued you? And then he heard a familiar voice. And it was the voice of Daniel. And Daniel said, the God who I serve faithfully sent his angels to close the lion's mouth. He protected me. And so you think about this. You have heard this story before of Daniel in the lion's den and what life was like for him. You may be in a lion's den of your own. I don't know exactly what that lion's den is. But you look and you say, well, Daniel was able to live faithfully in the lion's den. I want to remind you of the humanity of Daniel. It could have been that Daniel had said, Lord, I've lived for you for 80 years. I've made you known. I've followed you. It could have been a point where Daniel had asked the question, why? God, if I lived for you for 80 years, if I've lived for you this long, why did you allow me to go through this? Daniel was just as human as we are. Daniel was flesh and bone just like we are. Because those same questions that he possibly asked are questions that you may be asking yourself as well. God, I've been living for you for this long. I've been following you for this long. I've been serving you faithfully for this long. Why is all this bad? All of this tribulation, trial, and trouble, why is it happening to me? I've been one of your faithful servants. It's not right. Well, I want to encourage you. And even so, I want to encourage you with the life of Daniel. You see, Daniel in the lion's den was definitely being tested because he didn't know what the outcome was going to be. But here's the one thing that he taught us, and it's the one thing that he wants to teach you and I today. We can trust God no matter the outcome. Continue to follow after him faithfully. Continue to make him known. And yes, as a Christian, you may run into trouble that you don't want to run into. You may run into trouble that you did not ask for. Daniel ran into trouble that he didn't ask for. And regardless of whether you were serving 30 years or 40 years, or maybe you're young, you have been serving for a few months, you're going to run into trouble. But nevertheless, Daniel teaches us that God is faithful, and we can trust him no matter the outcome. Daniel in the lion's den, as he was in there, he learned that God is faithful and that you can trust him. And that's been a lesson that he has learned his entire life that he has lived in Babylon. God is faithful and he can be trusted. And today, you can do the exact same thing. And that is the greatest lesson that you can learn in the life of Daniel. That God is faithful and he can be trusted. So Daniel encourages you, and I encourage you today. Trust God, for he is faithful, even in the lion's den. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and share if this video encouraged you. And to see more encouraging videos and posts, subscribe to my channel and follow me on social. See you guys next time.